What's going on, Giants fans? We are less than 100 days away from real football and seeing the Giants back on Sundays playing actual football. We'll get away from the news and the rumors. We're going to get back to talking real football. So if you're ready for the NFL season, I want you to go down right now and like this video. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to break down Giants minicamp, or we're going to offer some winners and losers. The Giants, they're actually supposed to be on the practice field right now, but Brian Daboll said, nah, we're going to cancel the third day of Giants minicamp. Dan Duggan, he broke the news today on Twitter this morning and said school's out for the summer. The Giants canceled their last minicamp practice and are having an organized wide function instead. Supposedly, it's going to be a cookout at the facility, and I like this. Get the team camaraderie going, get the chemistry going, let the guys be guys, let the dudes be dudes, and let everyone hang out and have a good time. I'm just kind of upset because I wanted another day of Giants practice to break down, and the Giants, they're not going to be back on the football field until July for training camp. So until then, we'll keep you guys up to date with Giants news and rumors. That's why you hit that big red button. But let's get on with the show. Let's talk about some Giants minicamp winners. And the first one I have is Dane Belton, the fourth-round pick out of Iowa, the do-it-all safety. He shined in day one of Giants minicamp. In day one, they had the pads on. Well, not pants, but they had the tops of the pads on. They were doing 11-on-11 drills. And Dane Belton, he would have had 2 sacks in those situations. Wink Martindale, the Giants defensive coordinator, he came out on day one firing. They were blitzing. They were lining up in exotic schemes and exotic formations on the defensive end. And that's what Wink Martindale is going to do. He's going to apply pressure to the Giants offense. And look, early on in mini camps and training camps, the defense is going to win because it's easier to react than be the people that initiate the pace on the offensive end. Look, Dane Belton, I believe, can be an immediate difference maker for this Giants defense. He's a Swiss Army knife when it comes to the safety role. He's also going to be able to provide some spunk on the special teams side of the ball. When you look at this Giants safety depth chart, I have him right now as the backup strong safety to Julian Love. I also think he'll be the backup strong free safety, to Xavier McKinney. But this is a thin group. Yusuf Corker, the undrafted free agent, I don't have him pictured on the depth chart. I'm waiting until the official Giants 53-man roster to add undrafted free agents. But Belton is a do-it-all player, and he did that last year at Iowa, where he had 46 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 7 pass breakups, 5 interceptions. He can line up as your strong safety. He can come down and be your big nickel where he lines up in the nickel and offers run support. He can be a linebacker in the box at the safety spot. He's big. He was one of the best testing safeties at the NFL Combine, and I have big expectations for him. And the fact he's already getting run with the ones in minicamp and he's asked to be a blitzer, that's where I think he can be most effective because of the athleticism he possesses, and he's just a great tackler. But what about this, Giants fans? I'll ask you this question as we continue to roll through these Giants minicamp winners and losers. Do you want Dane Belton to start for the Giants? Do you think you should start over a guy like Julian Love? Let me know in the comments section. I'll be down there chopping it up with you guys. Type Y for yes, or you can go down and type N for no. Another Giants minicamp winner I have is Richie James, the wide receiver the Giants signed in free agency, spent his career with the San Francisco 49ers. James had the most catches on day one of Giants minicamp. He had 6 catches on 7 targets, and he was a starting wide receiver alongside C.J. Board and David Sills. That's pretty underwhelming and not really something Giants fans should get pumped up about. But Richie James is taking the advantage of the opportunity he's been getting. And as a football player, you can only control what you can control. And he's doing that, and he's making the most of the chances he gets. He led the team in targets like we talked about earlier in day one of minicamp. And Brian Daboll sung the praises of Richie James. He said he's loved what he's done here. He's come in, he's learned the playbook, and he's a fun player. We'll get to those Brian Daboll quotes in a second. But when you look at what Richie James has done in his NFL career, where he's played 40 games in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers, he hasn't had the most production, but 38 grabs for 689 yards and 3 touchdowns. But it's the 18 yards per catch that I feel like pops off the page. He's a speedster. He can get active with the ball in his hands. He's a generator with the football, and he can stretch the field and put pressure on people's secondary to take a step back when the ball is snapped. And Brian Daboll, He is already talking about what he has seen from Richie James and the things he's liked from him so far at Giants off-season organized activities. He said this: he's got quickness. He has the ability to play inside and outside. We've put him really in all 3 spots or 4 spots when we're going with 4 wide receivers. I think the quarterbacks can read his body language. He has good hands, knows what to do, is dependable, so he's been a good addition for us. And when you look at this Giants wide receiver depth chart, he's going to have a chance to make a name for himself. Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney, they were all wearing red non-contact practice jerseys. Darius Slayton is running with the second team. C.J. Board is a special teams player. So Richie James could be that 5th or 6th wide receiver the Giants kept. And when you look at Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Sterling Shepard, those are the big dogs. Those are the superstar wide receivers on this depth chart. But they haven't participated in any offseason team activities because they're wearing those red non-contact jerseys. I'm slightly concerned at the fact that Golladay, Toney, and Shepard aren't getting reps with Daniel Jones. Sterling Shepard and DJ, they have chemistry. They've played together for a while. But Golladay and Toney, it didn't work out last year. They didn't score a touchdown, and they're not being able to capitalize on these reps that they're getting this summer, and that's slightly concerning for me. So I want to ask you this question. How confident are you in the Giants wide receivers? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident at all. You're scared. You think the Giants should go out and sign another receiver. Or 10 being you think it's going to be the best Giants wide receiver core ever. Let me know in the comments section right now. While you're down there, go in the description and find rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. Click on it and give us a follow because Giants Now is currently posting their videos over on Rumble every single day. Very similar app to YouTube for content creators, but it's a little bit more edgy. And, it's uncensored. And that's what we like as New York sports fans. And my favorite part of Rumble is you can play the audio only like a podcast. If you want to leave the video and go answer a text message or scroll through your Twitter timeline, you can do that and the audio will continue to roll. So show us some love. Give us a follow. We're trying to get to 3,000 followers over at Rumble, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. Another winner I have for the Giants is 2-6 Saquon Barkley. Everything we've seen from Saquon this offseason has been encouraging. He hasn't missed a practice. He's been at every event. He's been at minicamps. He's been at OTAs. He's been at workouts. And Barkley, it sounds like, is back to being 100% healthy. And if you're a Giants fan, if you're a Saquon Barkley fan, that's all you can really ask of Saquon, to be healthy. Because when he has been healthy and he has been on the football field, he's been a top 5, top 10 running back in the National Football League. This is what Saquon had to say when he was speaking to the media at Giants minicamp. And they asked him how he feels. How's the knee? How's his head? How's his mental preparation going? And he said, I'll tell you, I feel a lot better than I felt at this point last year. Like you said, I was rehabbing. My body feels good. My body feels strong. Feel like I got my strength back. It feels like I got my speed back. It feels like I can trust my knee again and trust myself to make plays and not think about it. He said, my body feels really good. Barkley is ready for a big year. He's ready to cash in after this year in free agency or from the Giants. He's on the last year of his contract, and I'm expecting a big year for him, and his teammates are already taking notice of how hard he's worked and the fact that he's been at every practice so far this offseason. This is what Julian Love had to say about Saquon Barkley. I thought this was really cool. He said, that dude, he's all over the place. They're doing a lot more with him. I know he's really excited for that, and you've got to. He's one of the best talents in the league. To be able to do a lot in a lot of different roles, I know Mike Kafka, how can you not be excited to utilize that? I think he's back in his headspace of being super competitive. When I mentioned competitive talks in the locker room, he's the main guy. He's one locker over from me, and that's the main conversation every day about him competing. So I think that's what we've been seeing, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Saquon Barkley, and I can't wait to see what he can do this year. But can he get back to doing what he did in 2018 when he was arguably the best back in the NFL his rookie year, where he had 1,300 yards on the ground, when he averaged 5 yards per pop, when he had 15 total touchdowns and 91 receptions? The thing is, the next 28 games, it hasn't worked out. He's been injured. A lot of things haven't fell his way. This is someone that's dealt with not a very good offensive line, but I'm expecting in 2022 to get that 2018 Saquon Barkley back, and that would be best case scenario for the New York Giants. Another winner I have is Sam Prince, the GOAT. Sam Prince was at Giants minicamp this offseason. He got to announce the pick of Kayvon Thibodeaux at number 5 in the 2022 NFL Draft. And he's a Make-A-Wish kid. The Giants have done amazing things. And Prince was born with multiple congenital heart defects and received a life-saving transplant when he was just 8 years old. He has become a passionate advocate for organ and tissue donation and hopes to be a sports broadcaster one day. Sam has been the story to watch and story to follow for Giants fans all offseason long. I got goosebumps when I saw him announce the pick of Kayvon Thibodeaux, and he was on the stage, and Kayvon Thibodeaux were getting rowdy. That got my juices flowing. I love these Make-A-Wish stories. I love seeing these kids that have had hard upbringings and had to face adversity that they didn't have a chance of or a choice of avoiding, and bouncing back and getting to do some of the things they love. That's awesome for Sam. He's been great to watch. So let's show him some love. Sam is the GOAT. Type Sam in the comment section. Spam it 100 times. The guy that comments Sam the most, you'll be the winner of today's show. So spam Sam in the comment section and let's show him some love. Some other minicamp winners I had, and we'll go quicker on this. Ellerson Smith, the second-year player. He was a fourth-round pick last year under Dave Gettleman, an edge rusher. He's looked good, and Wink Martindale has used him in a lot of different situations, and that's been good to see. Travis Toivonen, he's been one of the leading target getters at the wide receiver spot due to the injuries. Zion Gilbert, the undrafted free agent cornerback, he's made some plays, and he might be able to crack this 53-man roster. Nico Lalos, shout out to St. Vincent St. Mary. He's just a kid from Akron, you know. He's played good. He's a good linebacker, and he's come off the edge and been impressive in Martindale's system. And Austin Allen, the undrafted free agent tight end that stands at 6'8", 260 pounds, has been getting reps with the first team over Ricky Seals-Jones. That doesn't bode well for Ricky Seals-Jones, and we'll talk about him in just a quick second. But let's get to it. In life, there's winners and there's losers, and Sam Brown, he's a loser because he thought I was talking about him. Let's get to it. Darius Slayton, he's the biggest loser for me coming out of Giants minicamp. The fact is, Richie James, C.J. Board have been running with the ones. Slayton, he's been relegated to the second team. He hasn't been getting any reps with Daniel Jones. He's been getting second-team reps with Tyrod Taylor. And the fact is, once he got that pay increase because of how much he's played through his first couple of seasons, where he went from $900,000 to $2.5 million, he's been a trade or cut candidate. And when you look at this wide receiver depth chart, the Giants are guaranteed to keep the top four guys pictured on the roster, and Galladay, Shepard, Toney, and Wan'Dale Robinson. I also think they're going to keep C.J. Board because he's a special team specialist. So that last spot is going to be up in the air between Darius Slayton, Richie James, who's already making noise, and David Sills, who's Daniel Jones' best friend. And this organization also likes Colin Johnson. I like Darius Slayton. His rookie season, he was one of the most impressive rookies in the NFL. 740 yards, 48 grabs, over 15 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns as a rookie. But since then, the drops have become a problem, and the production has somewhat fallen off. So I'll ask you this question. Do you think Darius Slayton is going to make the Giants' 53-man roster? Type M for make, or if you think he gets cut, kind of like I do, you can go down in the comment section and type C for cut. Another loser we have is Ricky Seals-Jones, the player the Giants signed in free agency to a one-year veteran minimum deal. It just has not worked out for him. According to Brian Dable, Seals-Jones is falling down the rep chart. Brian Dable hasn't been calling it a depth chart. He's calling it a rep chart. And that makes sense. You want to get some young guys on the field and getting more reps than others. But the fact is, when you're getting less reps than Daniel Bellinger or Austin Allen, who was an undrafted free agent, that's a problem. Bellinger and Allen got more first-team reps than Ricky Seals-Jones did in Giants minicamp. And that's a problem. Austin Allen, undrafted, free agent, getting first-team reps over Ricky Seals-Jones, who's been in the NFL for a while, who the Giants signed early on in NFL free agency. I don't think that bodes well for him, and I could see Ricky Seals-Jones being a potential surprise cut candidate once the Giants have to get down to 53 players. Another loser I have, well, this is a group of players, the red jerseys, the injured squad. Shout out to those guys. Look, if that team ever got to be a full team, they'd be damn good because some of the Giants' best players on the team are a part of the red jersey squad. Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, Andrew Thomas, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Blake Martinez, and of course Nick Gates, who's coming back from that nasty leg injury, and Matt Peart, who's still battling back from that ACL injury. Look, Brian Dable said most of these guys, if we had games this week, could play. He's holding them out to prevent further injury, but the thing is, they're missing valuable reps that I feel like they need to be taking advantage of. But at the end of the day, I hope these guys get healthy and can be ready for week 1. The biggest loser are Giants fans. Me, you, everyone watching this video, because the Giants, they canceled the third practice, the final practice of Giants minicamp, and I just wanted another day of looking and reading the highlights and seeing pictures of my team and my coach out there and just being able to break down another day of practice. I'm upset they cut the last day. It is what it is. Brian Dable said they're probably going to have a cookout at the team facility, so that's cool, but I would have liked to see the Giants on the practice field one more time. But look, we didn't get to see the third practice, but we're inching closer and closer to real Giants football. So if you're excited for the NFL season, if you're ready to see the Giants back playing on Sundays, go down right now and like this video. I appreciate everyone that's made it this far in the show, because if you did, you're a real one. And look, if you're still watching this video, Trace, how many minutes are we in? We're 15 minutes in, 16 minutes in. The real ones always make it to the end. So let me, kind of decipher who the real ones are and the shadies and the shysters and the fake ones are. So type real one in the comment section right now so I can find out if you're a real one.